last full day of the celebrations. In the morning we hung out at Yasgur's and played a few tunes. It was beautiful to be a part of a world where the unspoken reality is, if you can be anything, well then why not be groovy?
This place is awesome. Everyone loves each other. You should come. Are you going to see this live? Are you watching this now? You should come. It's great.
I'm a vessel for peace and love. I try, that's all you can do is try to be deeper into it. Each moment that comes, you make choices out of love.
Any thoughts on where America might be in 50 years?
I'm not quite sure about that one. I have high hopes, but it's challenging.
I really believe that one of God's actual teardrops fell on the site over there during the festival, and that's what kept a lot of peace and a lot of joy and a lot of hatred out. Because one of God's actual teardrops fell there.
I've been traveling for a little while between rainbow gatherings and festivals, and I was up in New Hampshire gathering where we both were, and heard about this kind of alternate festival happening, and drove there last night straight from New Hampshire.
Oh, was it kind of spur of the moment thing?
Yeah,
right.
Nice.
You just go from happening to happening.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what's happening.
So you've got your guitar there.
Yeah.
Want to sing us a song?
Oh, actually, let me get 3 chords. What not gonna have a story?
You gotta get all fancy on us with 3 chords.
I know.
Come on, man.
Come on, do that thing. We can harmonize.
I'm not sure what the background is, but
I remember as he started playing and the girls started dancing. As we watched and listened, the words of June Jordan came to mind. When we heard about the hippies, the barely more than boys and girls who decided to try something different, we laughed at them. We condemned them, our children, for seeking a different future. We hated them for their flowers, for their love, and for their unmistakable rejection of every hideous compromise that we had made throughout our hollow, money-bitten, frightened adult lives. And if you thought that was funny, June Jordan was probably talking about you.
A storm was blowing in from the east. A few drops of rain were falling on the leaves. It was time to bid Yasgur Farm fare thee well and head over to Bethel Woods for the show.
Who's got my grass?
Wouldn't be Woodstock without a little rain, right? We headed down towards the pavilion. There was an announcement made, a tornado warning. Not long after that, they announced the concert would be starting an hour late.
It got windy for about 2 minutes. A litigation alert went out to staff to herd us all back to our cars. That was never going to happen.
Bethel Woods people were saying you can't come in here. You got to go back to your car. And there was about 100 near the big doors down there. And they were saying, forget about it, man. We ain't going anywhere. I think that might be as close to a Woodstock moment as we're going to get.
That's right. If you were writing a book about tornadoes, you'd call this one a draft. It blew a few staff members' minds, but not much else. We got back just in time for Tedeschi Trucks' first song.
John Fogerty, man. I'm here for the white dude. Yay!
Let me see the people! You know, 50 years ago, I couldn't see anybody except that guy right down there. I'm happy to see that you aren't naked. Don't let that scare you. We're just here to have a good rock and roll time. Let's get going. Tell you a little bit about this guitar. This is a 68 Rickenbacker I bought in the first week of January 1969. Well, I then played this guitar on a bunch of songs up Green River and up around the bend, down on the corner, some of the album tracks. Hey, this is the guitar I played at Woodstock!
Where do you all go from here?
Well, we're going to go back home to San Francisco.
Fine, we'll have a safe trip back home.
Thank you.
Alex Yasgur said in this little speech, he said, "You're doing it. You're having nothing but fun and music." And that was as good as anything can get.
I have this belief that Woodstock 69 never gets old. It's we who have gotten old around it. The movie is a time capsule, and every time we see it, every person will always be the same age, dreaming the same dream about a better tomorrow.
Most people they can tell you where they were when they heard the news that Kennedy was shot. I was in school, I was in the little history class, and Mr. Schmidt was my teacher, and somebody came in to talk to him, and he said, "I want to tell you that the president's been shot." And one of the kids said, "Are you kidding?" He said, "Young man, I would never kid about that." I remember what he said. I mean, it's like clear as a bell. And we were just in shock. And the school closed, we all went home and just did nothing but watch the TV for the next 3 or 4 days, just in shock. Just like, what the fuck? And that was like the end of my childhood. That was the end of it. We were no longer living in an innocent, white people Eisenhower era. It was over. Done.
I was going up to the strip to hitchhike, and as it turns out, I wound up with a group of 5 boys and my friend Dottie. And I've had a love ever since. I did not realize when I got in that thing that I've had family.
But, really, we need to have a lot of work done on our infrastructure. Animals are getting killed constantly on the roads because they don't know how to cross the roads, right? Railroads are safer because animals can get across them really quick. So I, support railroads, deprecate highways. I mean, I'm sorry. To me, this is very, very political. And right now, it's hopeless. I mean, it's really hopeless. Right now.
That fire was snuffed out a long, long time ago. But it was an appropriate metaphor to end on. Though darkness will always try to extinguish the light, good Americans will always carry the torch. And that light will always try to stifle the darkness.
When I came here during the week, nobody.
I was so sleep deprived that I could barely see straight. But the field is a calming and serene place if you let it in. Oddly enough, it produces an emptiness into which, sooner or later, energies flow.
Some days everything seems like an analogy. That fence across the field? Like around this time, billions of dollars was being spent on a wall through Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas designed to divide us from them. And there we were at the counterculture's epicenter, celebrating a way of life that sought to liberate us from conventional capitalist notions of ownership and individual property. But Bethel Woods couldn't give a shit about any of that, or how offensive that wall might be across that field at this particular time. Fuck symbology. We gotta keep out the freeloaders. We won. Everyone pays. I was pretty sure I wasn't coming back to this place in a big hurry.
Hey, Dennis.
Brother, how you doing?
Good, man. You heading home?
Not anytime soon, but we will talk. I'm so glad to see you walking in. I've been thinking about you since Thursday.
Has that got good juju, Joe?
I think it's got as good a juju as any.
To put into the earth, or give back to the earth. It's come all the way from Northern California, from Catherine's and Shiva's Lucky Mojo curio shop in Forestville, Northern California. So that's the donkey beads and the I Ching going into the appropriate leather pouch. So I'm going to bury that in the earth here. This is the biggest tree. It's overlooking the stage area and the hill. And it denotes, I guess, the ending of this particular leg of our journey.
It does.
Because we've come a long way from California to upstate New York to perform this ceremony.
This gift's come a long way.
That's right, a beautiful gift from some beautiful people.
We leave something of ourselves behind when we leave a place. We stay there even though we go away. And there are things in us that we can find again only by going back there.
I think so.
I loved you every day, and now I'm leaving. I can see the sorrow in your eyes.
It was only later I grokked Woodstock wasn't a place. It wasn't an event. Woodstock was a nation of the mind, and the language of that nation was the music, and the food of that nation was love with a capital L, and the work of that nation was to make the world beautiful. Woodstock is wherever there's music that speaks to people. Woodstock is where there is love with a capital L. Woodstock is wherever people stand and fight for the poor, the oppressed, the innocent, the sick, and the needlessly dying. Do you live in Woodstock? I do. Turn on the music and dig in. We've only just started, and we have a lot of work to do.